Welcome everyone to our Coffee with Kendra about HubSpot and the new features that Paula and I have been talking about since Inbound, which is HubSpot's user conference that was in September. There are some key features that we feel like you, who are clients, really need to know about. And I know we have others who are in our community who are HubSpot users. We may not work with you in HubSpot, or you may be considering HubSpot. So I'm glad that you could join us. I have with me Paula Riley. Paula, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
And most of you know Paula, because if we're talking about anything related to HubSpot, she is the person who will come and answer questions. She will show you how to do different things. Paula is our HubSpot digital marketing specialist. And one of the great things about working with Paula is she also has a marketing manager background. So while HubSpot is her passion, she understands how you are using it within your app. Our goal today is to show you 6 of the many features that we heard at Inbound that we feel are important for you to know and to be able to use. If we are managing your marketing, we may be using some of them with you. If you are doing everything on your own, we want you to know about them so that you can be using them. We are recording today's session. We'll send that out at the end of the day. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in chat, and we'll take as many of them as we can as we go. We'll also stay a bit longer at the end to answer any questions. But again, our objective is that you walk away from here excited about what some of these new features are, especially the ones that are related to AI and how you use them. Before I turn it over to Paula, I want to share that HubSpot has made it known that they want to be leaders within the app in using AI. And it was never more clear than to sit there and hear all of the enhancements that they are putting into the portal and the capabilities, and they're rolling them out really quickly. So you're going to see new features and new capabilities that are coming into your portal on a regular basis. And I know one of you had shared with me, gee, but I'm worried when HubSpot adds something, it uses credits, so it costs us extra. And that's not necessarily the case. There are some features that do use credits, but as Paula would tell you, HubSpot always tells you if it's going to use credits. And if you are at the pro level in any of your apps, then you're earning 3,000 credits for being at that tier. Now, I'd have to check across how many of them do you have to have at pro level, but you have credits that are built in. And Paula, since I'm talking about credits, share what you said about how they can limit the credits that are used.
Yeah, when you're setting up anything that does use HubSpot credits, there is a setting where you can go in there and decide, if you've got, you can put it to where it'll only use up to, 100 credits or 1,000 credits per month. And then it stops doing whatever that task is for the rest of the month until you get your credit renewed at the beginning of the next month. So it's a great feature to have.
Where do you do that?
It depends on what you're setting up and where you're setting it up at, which I'll come across like the configuration when I'm showing some of that, and I'll show you where you can set that in like buyer intent or prospecting agent or something like that.
Okay, great. So we're going to start right off with Marketing Hub. And the big change that we wanted to show you, or enhancement, is buyer intent. And this always gets people very excited. So Paula, why don't you go ahead, screen share, and let's show people what they can do with buyer intent.
Yes, I will. Okay, can you see my screen?
Perfectly, yes.
All right. So you can get to buyer intent just by going over here to the marketing, and then it's just right down here. And we're in our HubSpot demo account. So buyer intent deals with a lot of traffic. And so since this is a demo account, the traffic is made up traffic. It's me, really. So I did do some screenshots from, the buyer intent in the KLA group HubSpot, so that I can show you something that, some of the features that's not going to be real clear with, my fake traffic of just me. So this is where it starts, and it's going to give you the overview, and it shows your progress and how you're comparing in your market. So I've gone in and added a bunch of different research intent criteria, and then HubSpot's going through there and it's matching it up. So it's letting me know that there's 195,000 companies that it has access to that meets that intent criteria that I'd put in. So it's just kind of giving you that idea. Again, this is all going to show as 0 because this is a fake account. But it gives you all of this overview, a general overview of it, how many companies you've added, and all of this, and then how they've been, if it's been auto added, manually added. So it's just kind of giving you all of that. Then it's got additional add-ons that you can just turn on. And some of them will use credits, but when you go in there and just turn one of them on, it will let you know if it needs credits.
So they're small. Tell us, what are those add-ons? Net new companies with visitor. Tell us about those 4 add-ons.
Yeah. So this one right here would be companies that aren't actually in your HubSpot yet, but they have visited your website, or they've met some of that intent criteria that you've set. And this is just visited. So these are ones specifically visiting your website. Mm-hmm. So the net new companies with research intent are going to be companies that have been researching one of the keywords you set in HubSpot. So it's captured that data, that information, and you can go in and target those companies. And then in CRM companies with visitor intent it's companies that's already in HubSpot with you, but it's showing you the traffic that the different people. So it may be the companies in there, but there may be a contact that's in here from that company that's not in your CRM. So it'll show you that information. And then you've got net new companies with research and visitor intent. So these are people that meet both of those criteria for you. So
I look at this and I say, for those of you who have salespeople, this is very valuable because this is where part of their prospecting can begin. I mean, you're used to looking for marketing qualified leads, those people who have taken action from your website or campaigns that you're running. But now these are the people who've come to the website, or the companies that have come to the website, but haven't yet identified themselves by filling out a form. And they are in your database, though, is what you're saying here. Well, there's both. And then there are those that aren't in your database. So if, Paula, they're using a tool like ZoomInfo or Seamless, does it integrate? Do you know, and how might it integrate?
It does. So we actually have Seamless integrated. So if I go over here and go over to visitors, then I can click on, and KLA group is literally the only one in my fake one here. But I can come over here and see KLA group, and then I can click this, which is Seamless.
And get all the list of the contacts.
Right. And then I can just click find, and it'll go in here. So I can, if I click into this one, which I don't want to do right now, just because it's going to take me to the company's page.
Right.
But, and then I click that little Seamless button, then it'll give me that chance to either research the company. So it'll be under like companies, contacts, or search. So if I've already got them from Seamless or in Seamless, then I can find them probably here, but I can always do a search and just type in KLA group, and then it's going to click find, and it'll go find them, and then it will add all of that over into my HubSpot. So it'll just add that company if it wasn't already in there.
So those of you who are using Seamless or Apollo or ZoomInfo, and there are others, they all integrate with HubSpot. And that then says for your salesperson now, you've got the data of who are the companies that are show some type of buyer intent, and you can now go look in your business intelligence tool to identify who they are, add them to your app, and either start a campaign or have your salesperson reaching out to them because you know they've got the buyer intent. And in the past, you always had to have a business intelligence app like ZoomInfo or Seamless that would tell you buyer intent. But now you've got that available to you right in your HubSpot app. So you don't have to have purchased it in addition somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What else would you share about buyer intent?
A whole lot. So I'll show you.
I know I was asking all the questions because in my mind I'm going, okay, if you're selling, this is what you've got to do.
Right. Yeah. So and this is just because I went to, I even did it in incognito mode just to see if it was going to capture anything. And it did. It knew that I was from KLA Group. And so this is the information and the reason I did it from incognito, in addition to seeing if it would do it, is because, if we go to this, if I go to our website, it automatically logs me in. So I didn't want it logging me in. So I did incognito so that I was basically logged out of everything. And it still captured that I was Paula, or that I was from KLA Group. And then this is the background that it has already. So I've got a screenshot from our KLA Group that's a little bit more in depth because it's actually, showing. So like the Associated Press, they're an online media. They have a ton of employees. In the last 7 days, they've been to 4 of our pages, and they've got 4 unique visitors. So 4 people from the Associated Press has been to our website. So it gives you all of these details in here about it. And then let me get back over here. And then if I click into this right here, the activity, it's going to show me this is the website that I went to, which is our demo account site that I went there twice. I went there yesterday, but it's also going to give me this AI generated overview of, the company, what KLA Group is, and, who I've been talking to there. So it's just going to give me all this information. These right here are my intent criteria. So if whatever intent. So if I put, if they visited our contact us page, that's an intent criteria that I want it to capture. And it did. Research intent is the keywords, and I'll show you where to set all that up. But the research intent is, these are some of the keywords I want to know if somebody's researching, and then they come to our website, because then I can personalize to them. And then target market is, the industry, the company size, the number of employees, any of that information that helps me target specifically. And we're a HubSpot user. You can add it to, if you click here, it'll just add this one to companies if it wasn't already in there. And then tracking it is being tracked for the intent signals, because I went to a trackable page. So it gives you all of that. And then on another one, so this is another one that shows me those intents. So business.com visited a ton of our pages, and they used research keywords that I had marked in here. So whenever I go into one of these other tabs, it'll show you more detail. But this gives you a better idea of, not only does it have to be our HubSpot site, like, the landing pages or something built in HubSpot, they can go to our actual website. As long as we have that HubSpot tracking code on our website, which we do, then it can still capture that, it wasn't necessarily a HubSpot page they went to, but it was our website.
Yeah, so that's important to know, that you may have a HubSpot website, which is fabulous because you can do more from a tracking perspective. But if you have a WordPress or a Wix site and you have the tracking code there, this still works for you.
Right. And it's really great. So then here's the recent page views. Again, this is our demo. So that's just the pages I went to. And then it's going to tell me what research topics that I've entered that actually ended up making me come up, that's showing that I'm interested in, which I have a ton of them because I'm the one that set all of this up. So it knows that these are keywords I was interested in. And then the signals are visitor intent, are the signals I set up for this, so that it'll tell you that, yes, I did visit the website. So that's one of those. And then about, it gives you the description of the company. And then contacts shows you anybody that works at that company that you do have in HubSpot. So, if you're wanting to personalize, then who you can reach out to personalize, because I searched one of these keywords. So you'll know all of that. So it's really, really helpful, and I love it.
So Christy asks, can you set alerts or do you have to go to the intent area to get the information?
You can set alerts. So there's email digests down here that you can set up to add an email digest, and it'll email you all the different, whatever criteria you want it to send over. So if somebody has, researched a particular keyword and you want to let somebody on your team who is marketing for that keyword know, then you can set up an email digest to send that to them. So it does give you that opportunity to do it. But this is where you configure your buyer intent so that you know what you want to track. On the markets, this is literally every single market that is possible in HubSpot. I just wanted to set up several of them so you can see that there's different ones. So this has just a couple of different markets in it. This other markets is absolutely everything that HubSpot tracks. And you'll see if I go in here on this one, that it's just a drop down and you just click which markets you're interested in adding people to. And then,
which is really helpful because as Paula showed you when she showed the screenshot for KLA, Associated Press is interesting because maybe they're looking for quotes. Okay, so we want to know that maybe on the marketing side, but we're not going to go sell to them.
Right.
So being able to target your markets, you're now targeting the information you are interested in seeing, and you don't have to sift through every single company that comes to your site.
Right. Yeah. So you can put specifically, these are the ones that you're interested in, and then it will let you know that person was in your market. It's going to show you all of, unless you exclude them, which I'll show you where to do that. Unless you exclude a particular company, if they meet this market criteria, it's going to show up there. It's going to be tagged that they're in your target market. But even if they're not somebody that's in here, if they're visiting your website, you'll see it as a visitor. So it's going to track everything, but it's going to show you especially who is in your target.
So Paula, I know that we have clients that have tools like Lead Forensics, for example. Those are tools that tracked this type of information around visitors, not necessarily buyer intent, but they were tracking visitors. Now you can do that in HubSpot, and you've got the combination of the buyer intent and who came to your website. And again, as a salesperson, that's huge.
Right. Yeah. And then also what I do like about it is, so if I don't really want to be tracking people from my own company that went there, because I don't care how many website pages, somebody in our company, then there's an exclusion down here, and you can come up here and just add companies that you don't want to see that tracking for. So I can add KLA Group, and it'll just remove it from me seeing that visitors. That way you're not cluttering up with, ones you're not interested in. So I like that. You can add up to 100 companies to completely exclude anybody that's from there. And I just like that because, like our tech people, we don't necessarily, we don't want to know when they're over there testing our, testing a page or something like that. So it's really useful. And then here, which it used to be so frustrating to me because there was no easy way to check if your tracking code was installed well on your website or installed correctly. But now they've added this down here to where you can just click it and it's going to tell you. So you can see, and if at some point somehow somebody accidentally goes in there and erases it, then, just by checking this code installation, it'll tell you if it's receiving or not, so that you'll know, something's wrong, so I need to send it over. So I like that. I like all of this.
I like your excitement about it.
I know, I'm such a nerd. But the intent criteria, this is where you set whether it's just that they came to the website, that's all I care about, or there's a specific page that they came to, and I want to know when somebody's coming to that page. And then if I want to say just people from the United States, I don't want Russia's traffic over here, or, I don't really care to have the market that, hackers traffic counted. You do want to know when hackers are trying to get there, but that's somebody else's problem. But this is, so you can narrow it down to where it's just companies. You just want to include countries. You just want to include wherever your market companies are. You can just include those traffic. Again, I can sit here and exclude. So I don't want Russia in here or something like that. Then I can add that path and exclude those. What is really great is it will also give you recommendations of what to set up and which ones they think you should, or, just based on the data in your HubSpot and your previous, what you're setting up, it'll tell you that I think that this is some information you might want to add to your target market to track. So it's super useful. And then again, you have over here, so your property labels, and these are just basic settings. But
so I'm going to tell you we're going to have to move on shortly. So show the last few things for buyer intent so we can get through everything else.
Okay. So the signals is right now. So there's settings over here. This select companies to track that uses HubSpot credits. And so if I select this and I go in here to start clicking all of these, then it's going to tell me this is how many credits you're going to lose or you're going to use. So if I check this fake one, track signals, it's going to tell me that I'm going to use this many credits. And then it gives you this estimated credit cost. So it's going to take this many credits to do it. So I can turn that on and start tracking if I want to, or I don't have to. But then you can go in.
A place where you would turn it off as well.
Yes. So
for buyer intent, you just go in and unclick them.
Yeah. Or you go into settings in here, and so you can go in here and change that. So any of this information. So yeah, that's where you can go in here and set it and take it out if you don't want. Once it reaches a number, then you can take it out of that. But anyway, so these are the different things. So these are the companies I set it up to track. I can go in here and just on my own decide, okay, I don't really care to track Seaco anymore. So I can just stop tracking them and it'll take it off. And then so that you won't use credits for them either. So it's such a great tool and I really like it. And then, so see here, this is the one where it tells me these are those tags. So it tells me I am tracking their KLA group. They are in HubSpot and they are part of my target market. Whereas on these other ones, you can see that, the Associated Press is not in my target market. So that's why it's not showing up right there. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's buyer intent. And I know that was really fast, but it's super helpful and I love it.
Yeah, it was something that when Paula and I saw it, we were very excited because we know there are all these different tools that you may be using to find buyer intent. Now you can do it right in HubSpot and you can integrate to other tools as well to do it. So it's going to make you much more effective and efficient. And we didn't call out where is it using AI versus where is it using automation, but Paula showed you the summaries that it does, the recommendations that it'll make to you, all because it's reading everything within your app.
Right.
Okay, so let's move. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, because I forgot to go back to the limit. So when I go in, since auto ad companies is what uses limit or credits, and when I click that auto ad right here is where it says monthly credit limit. So I can turn this on and say, so it's going to tell me that 1,000 of them is going to pick up 100 companies. But if I put 100, then it'll pick up 10 companies. So that's where you can set your limit so that you're not using all your credits for this.
And that you said is under settings.
It's under, so set up auto ad is where
there you go.
This is what uses credits in the buyer intent.
Perfect. All right. Now let's talk about Sales Hub because we had quite a number of things we wanted to show. We wanted to show prospecting agent that salespeople can use. We want to show AI meeting assistant, and we want to show you the Chat GPT connector.
Yes. So
shall we start with prospecting agent?
Yes. And I have all my tabs open so that everybody doesn't have to watch me try to find it over here in this. So it's over here to get to the prospecting agent. You just go to your Sales Hub and then it's just right here. So this is the prospecting agent. It does use HubSpot credits. So just to let you know, and it's going to tell you that right here. So what it does is you go into your agent setup. So this is just setting it up. This is a profile that I've already created. I can go into this profile and this is where you set it up. So you come in here and give it a description. So this is the name of my agent. The identity is whether you're going to have just one person. So the prospecting agent sends emails out basically. So it does email prospecting for you. And so this is what you're setting up. And you can either make it from one person at your company, or you can set it up so that whoever owns that contact in HubSpot, it's from them. So it doesn't have to be, the agent doesn't have to be just one person connected to it. And then the tone is you can either use a preset tone or you can go in there and it'll pull your brand voice. So if you've gone into your settings, set your brand voice, you can use your brand voice, or if you want a whole different one, you can pick a different kind of tone that you want to use. And then language, you can even set multi-language outreach. If you turn that on, then it'll translate it into different languages and send those out. And then on the sources and training, this is what I really like about it. I can go in here and answer all these questions if I want to, but what I prefer to do, because it's easy, is put a website address in there. So klagroup.com, click analyze website, and AI did this for me. So it just went in there on its own and it figured out what we sell, what's the value proposition. So it gives you all of that information and, automatically. And then you can go in there and edit yourself if you wanted to, or if you want to just go in and have ChatGPT analyze something and then drop it in there. But it's really helpful. And if I wanted to put a ton of websites in here, I can just keep analyzing websites.
So if you had multiple websites, you could use it that way as well.
Yeah, you can set up an agent for each website if you wanted to. So it's really helpful. Your call to action, what do you want to happen? So I want somebody to set up a meeting with me. So that's what it is. It's going to select the user. If I have a bunch of different kind of meetings set up, so I have a lot of training meetings, so I can put a different one in here so Sales Hub training or something like that. Then I can actually put that in there. And if I want the agent to send out any documents or use a particular link when they're doing prospecting, I can add those here and it will send those out too. The guardrails is what is the best feature, I think. So you've got two different modes. So you've got autonomous, which is it's created these emails. It knows what you're wanting, more or less, and it sends it on its own. So you fully trust it. I don't. So I do review before sending. So that way it will come up with the email, but then it's going to let you know, hey, your emails are ready to be sent out to this person that you just enrolled. So check them over and then you approve them and it sends them for you. So I like that. And then here is your outreach. So if you don't want it sending out prospecting emails on Saturday or Sunday, this is where you go in there and set it up. If you don't want them sending out prospect emails every single day, you need a gap, then you can set that in here too. So
I'm going to ask you some questions that will help people to really understand this before you show the settings piece of it. Okay. With the prospecting agent, we've told it who we are. We may have given it a document. If you've taken our prospecting training, you all know that you probably don't want to give any documents because you'd like to be able to have a conversation with people before you do that. But there may be links that you want to send somebody to because you're having a similar conversation. Paula, is it always the same conversation that they would be having with every single prospect, similar to a campaign that they may have set up when they enroll someone, or does personalization come into play? And
it does.
Okay, so talk a little bit about that so people understand truly how Prospecting Agent will help their salespeople.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back over here and show you. So see, I've enrolled a bunch of people in here. So these are all fake people too. So don't
worry that we're not going to be emailing prospecting emails to them.
Right. Yeah. So see, I did nothing but fill out all of that. So right here, it's going to tell you the initial email. So this is email 1 of 3. So it's gone in and it's just, analyzed Paul Salinas, whatever Paul Salinas is, company is on, company information and all that. And it's thinking that these are the pain points that they might be having, that they want to reach out to them about, and what of our features might really interest them. And so it's given me this list. So it's telling me, and again, I've done nothing to this other than just set it up. So it's showing me this is the initial email, and then it wants to wait 2 days, and then it wants to send this second email. So I can go in here and review this and see if, okay, yeah, that one's good, or I can edit it if I want to and change it.
And can you change the time that it goes? So maybe I don't want to send it 2 days later. I feel that that's aggressive for this particular contact. I want to send it in 4 days. Can you change that?
Well, so the whole entire campaign is going to go out based on that, because it's part of that setting where I said I wanted them 2 days apart.
There you go.
So you'll just go to the settings and it'll change it.
So I just want everybody to know that when you set that up in your settings, you're probably going to do it similar to how we do the Bloodhound, which would say you're going to choose every 3 days or every 4 days. Paula is aggressive, so she wants to be there every 2 days. But you're going to set that, and everybody's going to follow that cadence, but the emails will be different.
Right.
Go ahead. What else were you going to share?
And just showing you all of these. So, these all need review. So I can either approve it, or I can come in here and view it and do more research. And I want to see the evidence. So I want to see why you decided Paul is going to be interested in this stuff. So you can click that, and it's going to tell you, this is the information it pulled. This is why it thinks these are the appropriate emails to send out. So
where in the past you've had to have prospecting campaigns that you have run, sequences of some type, now your reps can use a prospecting agent, and you don't have to have spent the time trying to write these different sequences based on different business issues. And will it fit this person? We think overall the target market has this particular business issue. Maybe they're worried about cybersecurity, but now your reps using a prospecting agent, it can do the research to find out, well, is cybersecurity really what we should be talking about, or should we be talking about something different? Right. And the agent will change your emails for you.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then it also learns. So if I go in here and say, no, these are just all wrong for Paul, and I go in here and change this, and then I go, and then it enroll more people in there, it's going to learn, okay, so this is the information I had about Paul, but I really missed the mark on these emails I came up with, and it's going to learn. So it will get better with your voice and learning just by you using it. So it's just so impressive. I love it.
I do too. And we have a client who is using it, and he's talked about just how much, actually it's his rep who's using it. He's talked about how much time it has saved his rep, and his rep is currently using it combined with figuring out where to go do drop-ins. And going out and doing drop-in calls on people. And he's setting 4 appointments a week using the combination of tools that he's got, including prospecting agent. Now, Lynn asked a good question. She said, is there a limit to the number of prospecting agents that you can set up?
So I'm sure there is. I don't know what the number is just off the top of my head, but you can just create new ones. So if you have an entire team, you can create them. So I'm sure it differs or it changes, but I don't remember off the top of my head just what that limit is. Usually there's limits on everything because it's how much resources it's using. So I'm sure there are limits, but right now I don't know off the top of my head. It's something I could look up.
Thank you. Anything else on the prospecting agent before we go into the AI meeting assistant?
Yeah. So this other one. So the enrollments will show you who else enrolled, where they're at, the status of it. I've not actually sent any of these out because these are fake. And analyze. It's going to give you the data analysis, the statistics on how it's performing. So the automated inbound leads, how many was sent, people that need review that you've got. So it's super helpful, and you can go in here and just check all of it. So yeah, that was what.
So you would be able to look in Prospecting Agent to see what emails have gone out and where are people in the sequences. Right? That's what you just said. And if you knew their name, you'd be able to look in their contact record. But usually when you're doing prospecting this way, while they've hit your radar, it's only that they've hit the radar as suspects. And so unless it's a top prospect, a rep isn't necessarily checking tasks and things in HubSpot for that contact. So Prospecting Agent will show it to you.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then if you wanted to on the enroll, so manually enroll contacts, you can go in here and, I've got 25 contacts is the most that I can enroll at a time. So I can come in here and just either go through all of my contacts, or if they're part of a list, and so there's a specific list that I'm wanting to reach out to, I can go in here and pick dummy data. And then these are all the people that's on that dummy data list. So I can go in there but another thing I like is this show only target personas. So if you've got personas set up, these are your personas, then you check that and it's going to pull so I got rid of everybody off my dummy list, but anyway, so it gives you rather than just enrolling people willy-nilly, then you can have real control over who is going to go through all
funneling. You're qualifying right off the bat from the prospecting agent before you even had conversations with people.
Right.
So AI meeting assistant.
Yes, I love this one. Okay, so
I
I'm
use
here.
this one all the time. So
Yeah, I do too. Just because I might forget what I said in a meeting before, or something like that, or just something, and then I don't want to know. So I can come over here to this person's contact record, and then if I click this assistant, I can tell it that I want to prep for my meeting with this contact. Prep me for a meeting with this contact name, or I can just type prep for my meeting with Robert Meadows. And I just cannot type. Sorry about that. And then when I click this, so this again is a fake person with fake information, but it's going to give me back all this fake information. Did I click that? No, I didn't. So it's going to go through here now, and it's going to go through all of their activity and give me a summary of what the recent activity's been, maybe what they're reached out specifically about. And it's going to give me a background. So it's something quick that I can look at to prepare for my upcoming meeting with somebody.
It gives a nice recap of everything that's been happening.
Right.
And the key things that it thinks you need to know for your meeting.
Right.
Additionally, if you use a note taker, link your note taker to HubSpot.
Yes.
And we have ours linked. We exclude all internal meetings. So anybody who has a KLAgroup.com email address, none of our internal meetings get linked, but all other meetings get linked, and we get a summary in every contact. And then when you say prepare for meeting, that's got more information that it is reading to help you prepare for your meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it drops it on ours. It drops it in the notes section of somebody's contact record. So then whenever I'm in here and saying, research or prep for Robert Meadows meeting, if there's notes there, it's going to read. So that'll be part of that it grabs in there. But you can see that it's telling you kind of the overview of them, their contact methods, the relationship, and where they are in the life cycle stage, who owns the contact, and then their recent activities. And then even gives you action points. So things that you might want to actually, do with this contact, or, give them information. So, I just really like this. And then it'll ask you if you want additional insights. So do you want more information about the company itself, or, any deals that they've got, or, different things like that. So you can just keep asking this. And the great thing about it is this used to take credits to do when they first released it, but it does not now. So this is one of those that's great.
So Russ asked, how do you exclude internal? Russ, you wrote emails. I'm going to say internal contacts, because you can set it up in your sales hub to exclude internal people and other contacts as well. Like if you don't want to track your attorney's emails, then you can exclude anything from that particular contact. But Paula, how would they exclude it?
Yeah, so I go into settings, and then you want to come down here into, I believe it's email. Find it here. Email. No, it's not that one. All right, I got to find it in here. Content. Email. Hold on.
If you don't find it from here, we will email everybody and tell them.
That's right. I don't know why I was thinking that. So if I go to email right here under general, so every person can do this. You just go down here, and where it says never logged, you'll add for you specifically which email addresses that you don't want logged. But if you want to do it for everybody in the company, then you just click this one. And this takes, and you have to be a super admin or a HubSpot administrator to do it for the entire company. But you can go in here and never log, and then put your companies, so I could put KLAgroup.com, and that way it will never track emails sent to anybody that's got KLAgroup.com. So you can do it for the entire company, or you can do it specifically for yourself.
And if we're doing monthly HubSpot support for you, you can send it to us and we will do it for you as well. So you have lots of options of how you can get it done.
Yeah.
So that's AI Meeting Assistant. Let's
Mhm.
show the ChatGPT connector. This one we were so excited about, especially
Yeah.
as it related to, being able to do analysis of information that you already have in HubSpot. You've got Meeting Assistant, but there may be other things you want to know or you want to pull in. So this is great.
Yeah. Yeah. So to set it up, all you've got to do is go into your settings. So settings right here, and then it's going to have apps and connectors. And then you can see I've already got ours connected to our HubSpot, but you just go down here and it'll be in this list. And this is alphabetical order. So you can see what all you can connect ChatGPT to. And then that's it. You click on it, and then it's going to take you to HubSpot, and HubSpot's going to have you authenticate that you give access to for your HubSpot to ChatGPT so that it can access it. So then whenever you get that connected, it's a simple walkthrough. Well, then when I want to come over here and you could either click this and then use the more and then click here to use the HubSpot connector, or I can just type HubSpot. And you'll see once I hit that space, then it's going to bring that up for me. But what I did is just wanted to pull this information. So what I typed in is I want the HubSpot contact engagement data, emails, opening clicks for Paula Riley. And that's what it did. It went into our HubSpot and it gave me that information from our HubSpot. And so it's anything. So if you've got reports in there that you want it to analyze, you can say analyze the report from, and then give it the report name, in the HubSpot or something like that, so that it can, it'll go in. You've got to make it clear what you're wanting it to pull. Cause if you just say analyze my reports, well, you're going to get a mismatched bunch of stuff over there because it's not going to know which reports, and it's going to try to analyze every report. So you want to go in there and put some guardrails for it. But it's just really great because then you're not having to, because before you had to copy a bunch of data from HubSpot and then paste it into ChatGPT or download it and upload it into ChatGPT. Now you don't have to do that. You just tell it to go to HubSpot and pull it. So I love that. All right.
I do too. That's a great one. So, and we use it all the time. Also, if you do the HubSpot and it doesn't automatically pick up HubSpot immediately, you just go in and click the connector because you already have permission between ChatGPT and HubSpot. So don't worry if you've not used it for a while. It needs to be reminded, and it's very simple to do.
Right. Yeah. All right. Now, do you want me to move on? Because I feel like I'm running out of time.
Move on to, let's talk about CRM and reports. And we've got data enrichment and campaign to conversion reports.
Okay. So real quick, I'm on data enrichment. I'm not going to stay on it too long because everybody knows what enrichment is. But they're over here now, they've added in data management. There's a data enrichment, and it's going to give you this overview over here. And it's going to tell you, this is what it thinks, how much it can actually, here's your enrichment gap. So it thinks there's 291 records in here that it can enrich if I want to do that. I can click view enrichment, and it's going to come over here and it's going to show me. So logo URL, 62% of companies, it can pull all that. So, and then once you go in here and scan it, which you do over here, you just go in, and if you don't have enterprise, every 2 weeks you can scan it. So there'll be just something here, a button there where you can scan, and then it'll go through your HubSpot and see where it can enrich. This used to cost HubSpot credits, but HubSpot's changed it now. So enterprise, it's just free to always enrich your data. Anybody that's not an enterprise, then every 2 weeks you can go there, do a scan. It analyzes your entire record in HubSpot, and then it'll tell you where it can actually. So you just click a button to enrich it, and then it's going to pull all that data over. So that's really quick, mostly because they no longer use HubSpot credits. So that's why I wanted to point it out. So you can scan
this
away.
Is something that if we are managing your marketing for you, that we are using, because it just adds, as it says, it enriches the data that you already have. It adds a lot more information to it.
Right. And then this is the button to scan for enrichment apps, but I've done it, recently within the last 2 weeks. So see, it says next available scan, November 11th. So it knows I scanned recently. So in November 11th, I can come in here and scan again. So, and that's all free. All right. I'm going to hop over here to these reports. So we built this campaign to conversion dashboard because we wanted to see in our fake HubSpot account, in our demo account, when somebody starts as a lead. So when they come in as a lead to when a deal closes, we want to see that path. And so we created these different ones. So these are what we've got: 210 leads that came from the lead generation campaign. And then 102 leads came from our onboarding and welcome campaign, all these fake campaigns. Well, then they became 59 of those people became marketing qualified leads. And then on their journey, it ended up with 4 of them being a sales qualified lead. And then the average response time, we just wanted to put that in there to show so that you could see that maybe a lead reached out to somebody on your team and it took them 6 months to come back to you or something like that. Or they're responding on average every 5 minutes. You can track all of that here. And then this is our opportunity creation to close rate. So it's going to show you the different steps. So a deal record was created, 503 of them. And then we just made 2 steps. So then it went to being closed. So closed one, 398 of them did. Closed lost, 102 of them did. And it gives you these conversion rates here. So it's really, just to showcase that it's super easy to track somebody from beginning to very end of their become a customer life cycle. So this is something that we can create and that we do, we can create for our clients and anybody that wants us to. It's not hard to do. If you've got somebody on your team that's comfortable doing that, we can kind of send you what these reports are. But you can click also into the reports, and then you can go in and you can customize them with additional information or additional features or more filters. So if you want to filter it by a specific campaign or, something like that, then you can come in here and you can change the different parameters. So if I wanted to do the deal names rather than a count of deals, then I can. I was trying to get through that really quick.
We have done a number of Coffee with Kendras related to data. The data is what we want to be using to refine what you're doing in sales and what you're doing in marketing. And so to see a conversion report or to see how long does it take from, a client, you starting to work with them as a new record all the way through when they make their first purchase adds to the type of information that you get from forecasting, right? Where you can see how does an opportunity move? Well, now we can see how long does it take an actual contact and what did we do and what might we do to speed that up to get faster in our whole conversion process. So we really want to be tracking the data, and HubSpot makes it available to you. Then it's a matter of using the data that is tracked. So you have all this available to you, and we just need to then determine how does that change your sales strategy or how does that change your marketing strategy.
Right.
And you have, if you're a client and we're running your marketing, you have a lot of dashboards that are set up for you that your marketing manager goes through with you so you can see the performance. And Paula, when she does onboarding of every new client, also sets up a CRM health dashboard that shows you the health of all the contacts in your dashboard. Do they have email addresses? Do they not? Do they have names, company names associated with contacts? Do they not? So there's a lot that helps you know just how valuable is the data that we have, because AI is using that data to return information to you.
Right.
So the reporting is really important.
Right.
Is there anything else you wanted to show around the data enrichment and the campaign to conversion reports?
Nothing. No, this was just kind of a high level over the report just to show it, but just kind of give you an idea of some of the reports that were built. Other than, one thing I can think of is that if you're not real comfortable building reports, then a great thing about it is that you can come in here and you can create a report if you want to do. They moved this around. So if I go over here to reports, What I do like about HubSpot is they have so many report templates. So if it's not something that you have an idea of what you're looking for, but you're not 100% sure how to build it, then you can come over here and see the template report library or even the AI generated one and just tell it what you want, what you're trying to get to. And then HubSpot's AI will come out there or will come and create a report for you. But our report library, I don't know why it's not coming up, but you can just click right here. And then it'll show you a whole bunch of different, there you go, a bunch of different templates that you can use. So if it's not something you're super comfortable with and you don't have a marketing manager to ask about it, then you can just come in here and search and tell it, you want these different kinds of reports. So you want reports on tasks or deals or contacts, and then narrow it down that way. So it's a really good way to build reports if you're not comfortable with starting from scratch.
I will tell you that from a sales manager perspective, will go in and look at different reports when I want to know specific information about a sales team or a salesperson. So it's really easy to use the reports that are in there. And you can put parameters on them, etc. So before we talk about Data Hub, Brent asked, if you're not on Enterprise, does HubSpot retain the previously enriched data? Do you know?
Yeah. So whenever you go in there and you click to scan it, and then it tells you how many it can enrich or how much enrichment it can do, and then you'll go in there and you'll start adding people to be enriched. That's saved to that record. So that record is always updated with that information. So you don't lose that, even if you're not on. It would
show in their activity, wouldn't it? That this is what happened.
Yeah, it'll show also what changes were made from that enrichment. And but yeah, so you won't lose it. Once it's made that record, changed that record, it'll stay that way unless you go and change it yourself, or unless there's an update to the enrichment later on and there's new information to provide. But yeah, it stays on the record.
Okay. So we're not covering it today, but one thing that came out between the time that we invited you all and now was HubSpot's Data Hub. So if you have Operations Hub, they have renamed it to Data Hub, and it has the capabilities where it's now much more focused on data. So it has a data analyst or agent that can analyze your data, and it uses natural language. So you can tell it, this is what I want to know. And it also has event management to see if you have spikes or drops in your traffic based on the data. So you can start to pinpoint what's going on with traffic. We are not showing that today, but I have every intention that we will have more Coffee with Kendras that are specific for our HubSpot clients and community, where we're going to highlight different things that we are seeing that are being added, or things that you should be able to use. So watch for that. The other big one is the AEO strategy, which is in beta right now, and we are testing. Paula is super excited about that one because it's going to analyze your ability to be found in AEO. If you did not attend our last Coffee with Kendra 2 weeks ago, we talked about it. It is answer engine optimization, and it's where it's how AI agents are searching for answers, and what should you be doing to be more visible and to be compliant with what they are searching for. And so HubSpot has already added that, and they had a ton at Inbound about AEO. And so if you're clients, we've probably already started talking to you about it, because it's an extension of what you should be doing for SEO. Now, we just covered a ton. I will tell you our next Coffee with Kendra that's specific to our HubSpot clients and community will be December 3rd. We don't have it out anywhere. I'm just letting you know. Bryn Tillman, who is a LinkedIn expert, very, very well known for what she does on LinkedIn, is going to come and talk about how you can use HubSpot and LinkedIn. So she'll be joining us, and we're going to talk about that. and we will invite all of you. We covered a lot today. If you're feeling like you need help with any of this, you don't know where to go next, book a HubSpot coaching session. It's included if you have HubSpot monthly support with us, or if you have a block of HubSpot hours, we can use that to do it. And Paula will work with you on how do you do some of the things that we've talked about, or we'll actually go in and set up for you the things that we have talked about. If you want help but you don't have those, reach out to me and we'll talk about getting you set up. And if you've joined and you're not a HubSpot user but you were interested and we should talk about whether HubSpot would be right for you, let's schedule a meeting and let's talk about that. And I have my meeting link there for you. It's meetings.hubspot.com/Kendra-Lee/30 minutes or 30 MIN. And we can talk about any of those things. And let's get you using these new features and the AI capabilities within HubSpot. Paula, closing thoughts for everyone so that they can get going.
Yeah, just that HubSpot introduced 200 plus updates at Inbound this year. So, and they're really focused on AI and helping everybody with AI. So I'm really excited about it. And there's so many more features coming out, and there's constantly certifications and training. So if there's something that you're not comfortable about using in your HubSpot, I would recommend going and searching for a training course from HubSpot on that. And they're so detailed and they're so helpful. So that's just my.
Yes, you want to be utilizing these features. And if you can implement them as they are coming out, it'll be much easier than saying, I'm going to wait, and they keep being added to. It won't feel as overwhelming. And these are going to help your productivity. We chose the first 6 that we felt were most important for you to know about. So definitely be looking at how do you get them implemented. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And we will look forward to having you on December 3rd when we talk about Sales Hub and LinkedIn integration. And in between that, in November, on the 19th, we're going to talk about how do you build digital trust. So join us for that. And that ties directly into answer engine optimization. So join us, and we'll talk with you then. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.